And we're live on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Summer at SAC. Very special show today. We have a very special guest. I am broadcasting from my office on the San Antonio College campus. Returning to campus. It's a wonderful thing. And I had a lot of fun yesterday. And I'm in office today, back on campus. It's good to be back. My parking spot is back. I'm kidding. I don't have a parking spot. I get here at 6 a.m, so any spot is mine, really. All right. So, special guest today, Jacob-Aidan Martinez, Office of Student Life Director. Good morning.
Good morning, Hot Mustard.
How's it going?
It's going well. I'm excited to be here. I normally am in the office, but this morning I'm at home.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I like the bookshelf.
It's quieter
in the back.
at home than in the office. So
yes, I will say that. You know, and working here at the radio station, we have a lot of radios on, and I had to turn the volume down a bit. Let's see. So tell us a little bit about what you do as the director of Office of Student Life, and how did you come to be in that position? Tell us about your history.
Okay, yeah. So as director, I help lead our events in the Office of Student Life. So we do a lot of different things. We oversee our student leadership, clubs and organizations, civic engagement. We oversee our athletics and intramurals and just general student life events. We have health and wellness. We also oversee a Baby Safe grant. And so there's just a lot of things that we do. And so I kind of help my coordinators in coordinating their events, sometimes standing in for them if they can't be there, and just making sure that we always engage our students. And so that's the biggest thing, is just student engagement and making our students feel like they belong on campus and that they feel welcomed into our community. I've been at San Antonio College for 10 years. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary last month. And so I started as a coordinator in student life, which I was really young back then. And so I feel like a lot of people thought I was a student when I was actually a coordinator. I never actually went to San Antonio College. I graduated from another Alamo colleges back in the day. And so I was a coordinator for about 4 years before I moved up. I was promoted to our first ever Director of Student Conduct in Title IX. Did that for about 4 years, and then came back to student life, but as a director. And so I had a lot of familiarity with what we do in student life. I had worked with most of the people in that office already as a coordinator, so it wasn't too hard of a transition coming back, but obviously there was a lot of things different. And so doing that, and so I really enjoy it. I think student life definitely is my jam. And I feel comfortable and we have such a great team, so it's really cool.
And it's great, you know, we talk about your team, because you know, Carrie Hernandez over there, she's always posting photos, and it looks like it's just a good time all the time, you know.
Yeah, she's our unofficial photographer. So since we don't really have a photographer anymore, we always ask her, like, hey, can you bring your camera to take pictures? So yeah, no, Carrie Hernandez has been there for a long time, I think 34 years maybe. So it's been, yeah, so she's our longest employee there in the office.
Wow, she's great. She's just great.
Oh.
You know, when I got back in the office yesterday, you know, it's like it was like nothing had been touched. Okay, we're talking calendars up from March 2020, and on my whiteboard in my office, I had a list of events. It was about 4 pages long, and it was all the student life events, and I would get that from Carrie all the time at the beginning of every semester. And my gosh, the amount of events that we had missed, didn't get to do. I mean, I believe we were about to start a jazz fest in May last year. So, you know, when the term last year pivot, I can only, like, how did you manage to pivot and trying, you know, because student life, you know, we talk about events, it's on campus, it's personal, it's face-to-face, interactive. How did you transfer online?
So I'm really proud of my team. You know, when COVID happened, we were one of the first departments that kind of had a plan. So we immediately pivoted to whatever we can translate to online or virtual, do it, and then anything that couldn't be translated to a virtual event, you know, create something in its place. And so we were still hosting about 3 to 4 events a week virtually, which a lot of people don't usually know because, if you're just, I mean, everyone's so busy doing their own thing. But we were hosting them. And so I'm really proud of them because when in comparison to some of the other colleges, we definitely were doing quite a bit. And we were just trying to maintain kind of what we normally used to do, on campus. And so we it was a learning challenge. Not all my staff is tech savvy, so everyone had to learn, how to use StreamYard, how to do live events, how to do certain things on social media, or how to even engage in social media if they weren't familiar with it. So there was a lot of things that were learned, but and it was actually a good learning point for us because we are planning to still keep some virtual events even when we're back on campus 100%. For our online students. And so I think that it was a learning curve, but it was a good one. And I'm very proud of my team for being able to step up to that challenge. And even with us helping out other departments, because some of my team were pulled to other departments. So some coordinators that were left in my department were having to double up on job duties. And so, but we made it seem like it was seamless, but behind the scenes, we definitely were, we were working around the clock, and it was hard. But we enjoy doing what we do. And so a lot of times it doesn't feel like work. It feels, like we're having we try to have fun while we do it. Yeah, so I really feel that we still try to keep that huge 4 pages of calendar events. And speaking of, we're actually working on our fall calendar already, which we have like plan B and plan A in case it's like virtual or not. I think there's still some undecidedness there, but we already have 100 events planned for this fall, and that's just the fall alone. So my team's amazing, and summer. I think there's a big, I think there's a big misunderstanding with student life. They think summer we're just like not doing much, but summer's actually our busiest semester because that's when we're actually planning everything for the following year. Because trying to plan it during the year is just impossible because we have students that are it's a revolving door in our office, and if you've ever been in our office, like students just need help or they want to sit there and talk. And so we need to plan it now and get all the paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into planning even just one event, because some forms are for SAC, some are for district. And so that's what we're doing right now. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice. And it's going to be great to have, people back on campus, people back in the Lofton Student Center, the buzz, having that buzz throughout the campus. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Do we still have the DDR machine in the Lofton? The Dance Dance Revolution?
Well, that's been gone for like a decade. But we do have a game room, and we have we have new systems. So we never had like a Nintendo Switch, and we have a couple of those. And so we're waiting for the hype to die down so we can get a PS5 and some the other new systems too for our game room. We just ordered a new pool table because our old pool table was kind of beat up. So we're getting that game room ready, and we're getting the Lofton ready. We thought we had more time, but actually our building opened this week. So yesterday was the first day that students were walking in the building and knocking on our door like, "Hello, can we help you?" So it was good though. Most of them are just looking for the bookstore. But it was good. So we're getting the Lofton ready. So for the big integration in the fall. So we're excited.
That's fantastic. And a lot of the events, all the events funded by the student activity fee. So every student that registers for class, whether it's online or in person, a portion of what you pay, the student activity fee, it goes to that. How much is it per hour now?
It's $3 per credit hour. And there's an actual committee that governs that fee. So I think there's also another misconception that I'm the one who decides where the money goes. And so I'm only the budget manager. I just make sure it's spent on what the committee votes on what it's going to be spent on. But there's a whole committee with students and faculty that determine how that money is spent. And so
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Also clubs and organizations. Were there a lot of clubs that stayed active over this past year?
Unfortunately, like most students, we did have a hard time engaging, our most active students online. And it's just because they were overwhelmed with doing classes online and having to stay home and whatever else that they had to, whatever duties they had to pick up. So there was a lot of students that we lost either because they just couldn't participate anymore, or even because they've graduated now. And we haven't had that opportunity to recruit in person. So we are definitely looking for students to get involved with our clubs and orgs. Carrie is actually now over all the clubs and orgs, so she's been doing a good job on engaging the advisors to see, like, what do you need? What can we do to help you? Because we want them to know they're not alone, and we want to be able to help them and provide any resources that they have. And so one of the newest things that we're doing is we integrated a survey into the new student orientation. So from the get-go, students can determine if they are interested in being a club and what types of clubs they're interested in, so we can send them more information. So we're trying to be proactive in recruiting students to our clubs and orgs, but we're hoping that if things are lightened and we can be back on campus somewhat normal, then we'll be able to really recruit for those clubs and orgs. So
Nice.
some of them did stay active though. Some of them I'm very proud of. They were active throughout the whole pandemic, and we're doing meetings regularly and everything. But there was definitely a decrease in participation.
Well, hopefully we can get everyone involved again. In student life, being part of a club on campus, it's a wonderful thing. I would say it's a wonderful thing. You don't get lost in the hustle and bustle, just going to class and leaving, going to class and leaving. And stay on campus. There's plenty of things to do.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. It's really fun. And some of it is very helpful too, if you're looking to build your leadership skills, your resume, your co-curricular transcript. So it's both helpful and fun.
Yes. Weeks of welcome. And so we do this at the beginning of every semester. Weeks of welcome for the summer. When is that going to be starting?
Yeah, so it actually starts tomorrow, and we're excited. This is the first ever summer weeks of welcome. We've never done a summer weeks of welcome in the history of our department. And I know that because we have a historian there, Miss Carrie Hernandez, who's been there for quite some time. So every time I'm like, is this the first time? I'll go ask her because she remembers everything. But yeah, and we normally don't do it in the summer just because there is less students on campus, but summer classes, as we knew, I don't know if you were on campus yesterday, but there was a lot of students on campus. And so there's no one there to there's very few people there to welcome them. And so we wanted to have a real event, even though we're gonna start off with the drive-through curbside event, just to welcome them and say, hey, try to bring some life back to campus. And so tomorrow we have our drive-through event from 9 to 12 p.m. It's going to be in the Scobie roundabout. So that new area right off San Pedro that I don't even know if it's been opened yet, but it will be tomorrow. So that will definitely be, and students will just be able to drive through, like literally there's going to be 2 tables where they can get their t-shirt and spin the prize wheel, win some prizes. And yeah, and so we're gonna give them some flyers and stuff for some of our other events coming up. And it's just a way to engage students. And so we are excited. We always pick a theme around pop culture, and this year's or for this summer week's welcome, we're doing Space Jam because the movie's coming out next month. And so our all of our promos are Space Jam inspired. And on June 16th, we'll have our kickoff to our virtual 5K run, which if you do your 5K, you will get a Space Jam themed medal, SAC Proud medal. And then on June 23rd, we have our Space Jam Kahoot, which is virtually, and that will be from 6 to 7 p.m. on our social media. So we have those 3 events for summer 1, and then we're gonna either do very similar or integrate some new things for summer 2. We're still determining based on our budget, but we'll know soon enough. So to follow us and make sure that you get the most up to date, we either say to look through our Alamo experience or to follow us on Instagram. And so that's where we get most of our students is Instagram. We've built that up during the pandemic. And so when we had our last drive-through, we had like almost, I think 170 cars come through. And I was asking like, how did you hear about us? And like, like 85% was like Instagram. So we know Instagram's working. That's the predominantly where we get the majority of our participation.
And the prizes were, my gosh, how many Apple AirPods did you give out this past year?
I can't even tell you. I'd have to look at my record. But we do have to keep very intense records for those kind of prizes. But yeah, we did step it up. We gave out AirPods, Beat headphones. Towards the end, the last drive-through for the graduation drive-through, we gave away a few TVs. So definitely some cool prizes. This time around, we'll have some cool. We'll have some AirPods again. We have these cool Looney Tunes mini backpacks. So those are pretty cool, and just some other Space Jam inspired promo items and prizes that we found, somewhere, and we're like, oh, that looks cool.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
we try to make it fun.
All right. And June, it's Pride Month here at San Antonio College.
Yes.
And one thing that's really interesting, we made it onto the Campus Pride Index. And tell us a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of that accomplishment for us. And the Campus Pride Index is basically a tool that kind of measures and assesses your inclusiveness to the LGBT community. And so I had known about it, but before I started this project, and I was kind of like, okay, it was kind of like one of those things that's on your list of like a million things to do. But then last fall, Dr. Bella had actually sent me an email. It was like, hey, it'd be cool if SAC can get on this. And so that's when, that took like top priority. So I started looking into it, and it's an assessment that you fill out. And it's a very long assessment. They ask you all these questions, some of them of which I had to do research, like estate research, research into the Alamo colleges, because they ask you a lot about policies, procedures. You have to turn in documentation to show like proof of what you're saying is true. So after you do that, they grade you. They give you a score, and it's between 0 to 5 stars. And so at the end of all of our assessments and everything, proposals, we scored at 4.5 stars out of 5. We are also listed as a premier campus. So what that means is that if any student were to go just to even the general website, the Campus Pride Index, even before typing in like a search for Texas or San Antonio, we could be featured on the front. So, and it's at random, like they switch schools out at random. And so, yeah, so very proud to have that. We're going to be reconvening the LGBT committee soon. So now that we have, even more feedback from them and some of the new initiatives we want to start. So we are very excited about that. And we've known for a little bit that we received this acknowledgement, but we wanted to wait until Pride Month because we thought it would be even more special if we announced it during Pride. And so now the cat's out of the bag. And so we're super excited about it. And I am wearing actually this year's Pride shirt. So it's our little heart logo that Dana Morris created for us a couple years back. And this year the shirts are purple. I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, but they're purple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're really cool.
Nice. And we were talking about clubs earlier. The LGBTQ club on campus, that was it has always been like the biggest club on campus with the most active members, the most members, period, hands down. And I was never able to join because I always had the KSYM meetings at the same time. And so, I didn't get to make it over there for the regular meetings. But yeah, and that's San Antonio College and our location, and we're positioned for greatness like that. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's really special because Dr. Bill always talks about too, like our backyard, and the LGBT community is literally our backyard. It's right there. So so that's why we do a lot for to show our inclusivity for the community. And I was really bummed we're not going to be able to do an actual parade this year, but I already have some ideas for next year, so they better be ready.
Yeah. and I just saw that the walkway, the rainbow walkway we have intersection was just cleaned yesterday, I believe.
Oh, awesome.
So
yeah,
it's clean. It's ready to go for Pride. It's a beautiful month. And also, backed by popular demand, the lights, the Pride lights.
Mhm. Yeah, so we have a few things for Pride Month that we're going to be doing that will be leading up to the lights. And so we have a drive-through. So we have two drive-throughs this week back to back. So if you're looking for me, you probably know why. If you emailed me and I haven't responded, that's probably why. On Thursday, we have our Pride kickoff drive-through. And so that will also be from 9 to 12 p.m. in the Scobie roundabout. And that's where we'll be handing out these t-shirts. So if you are a LGBT member or an ally, we will be handing these out. We also will have these cool fans there you go. You had to do the sound effect. So
That
if
was
you
awesome.
saw me at the Aspen celebration on Friday, you know that I was getting a little crazy with this band. But yeah, so we'll be handing those out as well on June 10th. And then we'll also have Drag Queen Kahoo on June 17th from 6 to 7. And then leading up to the showing of the Pride Lights again. So we're going to be doing that for a week starting on June 21st. Which just so happens to also be my birthday. And that's totally coincidental, I swear, totally coincidental. But June 21st through June 27th. And the reason why we chose that week is because on June 26th is the Pride Block Party. They're on Main Street, so that's when they usually shut down kind of that half of that street and they have a giant block party, like all the clubs and bars and stuff. And so although there's no parade this year, there is a virtual ceremony that we want students to go and watch. And then for all those students or community members that are just happen to be at the Pride Block Party on the 26th, they'll be able to see the lights. And so the iconic Moody lit up. And so that's why we chose the ending of Pride Month for that. But we're super excited to do it. I didn't think we were going to be able to pull it off this year. But always Dr. Vela is so super supportive of the community and what we're doing, the work that we're doing. And so it was not even a question. So excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be super cool. Let's see, rock and roll June events. As you know, June is a very busy month for you.
Yeah, so Rock and Roll is actually an outreach event, but Student Life, I have to hand it to my team because there's a lot of times we get asked to like do stuff and we're like, okay, like the Aspen celebration, like my entire team worked with that entire event. So, and we did it, and sometimes that what happens, we don't get to enjoy an actual event because we're working it. But we try to have fun while we're doing it, and we, I major props to them because they are always willing to do anything to flex schedules or whatever, because our schedules are all crazy most weeks. But yeah, so we have the SAC Enroll event on June 15th. We're helping out with it. It's going to be a lot of departments in our division that will be there, and it's basically a one-day enrollment rally. And so students can come in. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. I think they can start registering a little bit before that, like at 8:30, but they're going to come in. They're gonna go to the fourth floor of the Moody, and all the different teams will be there. So we'll have advising, we'll have financial aid, we'll have residency, NSO, student life. Everyone will be there, and so the idea is for them to go in a circle and to get not only enrolled, registered, advised, signed up for classes, and then at the very end, they hit the fun zone, which is us, and they will get to get some popcorn and win some prizes and send them on their way happy. So we're hoping that students or potential students take advantage of that. That's going to be on June 15th, and there's another one scheduled on the 29th. And I know soon when that director hits your show, they'll probably talk about it too. But the first one's already next Tuesday, so they wanted me to talk about it, and we will be there. We're helping outreach any way we can. We're also helping with new student orientations too. So we'll have our first one next week in person. So we're excited to see students, like more students.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you're planning on going to the Enroll Texas, well, not the Enroll Texas, the Rock and Roll event, one-day registration event, you need to go to Apply Texas at least 3 days prior to this event. And there's 5 sessions, one at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. And help with everything from the enrollment, financial aid, advising, testing, getting your ACEs account set up, vaccine submission paperwork, transcripts, everything. It's all going to be one day. And, we haven't done anything like this before. And I wish we had it when I was a student. It's amazing. It sounds like, very in and out.
I heard the stories of people wrapped around the nail tech or the gym. So
yeah.
So we're hoping that be a good event and to help our students who may be caught up in somewhere in the enrollment process. So that's the idea.
Good old days of the Chandler, the gym, the sound of ribbon printers and you remember the ribbon printers?
Oh, I remember those. We had one of those when I was little. You have to crank the paper, click the dial. Yeah.
All right. And let's see. Registration is going on. Do not forget. Summer registration is still going on for not much longer, though. So I believe summer session 2, that's going to be ending very, very soon. June 15th.
That's next Tuesday.
I know.
That's our SAC Enroll day. So if you want to come in for summer, you come that day too.
Now, fall registration, you have plenty of time for fall registration. Flex 1 is open right now. Flex 2 is open. Start 2. So we're ready to go for fall. But don't take too long, because the summer flies by. And I remember what it's like to be a student not enrolled in any classes at all. Summer flies by. So take advantage of these one-day registration events going on. And you can always head on over alamo.edu/SAC and go to the events page. So many events going on. And I can't wait to see all the events that we're going to have back on campus in the fall. And, where can students go to get involved with student life?
They want to, if they want to get involved, definitely come by the office. So we are located in the Lofton Student Center, room 150. And so it's right when you walk in the main doors to the left. So that would be the first step, is to come talk to us so we can kind of see what you're involved in, because we have so many different things. So, kind of what your interests are. And then we can kind of connect you with either a club or an org or even an event. So we have a lot of things something for everyone. So that would be the first step, is come talk to us and meet us and so we can get you hooked up on campus.
Definitely. I think I missed the rodeo.
Oh yeah,
the most. When we had the rodeo on campus and the mechanical bull and the Lofton. That was great.
Yeah, so we're hoping we can, soon we'll be able to do some of those events.
Yes. All right. Instagram, where can people find Office Student Life on Instagram?
If they go to our Instagram page, it's SAC OSL. I'm like, wait, I feel like there's an underscore and there is an underscore, right? I created it, but I don't remember it. So it's SAC _OSL. And it is where we post daily. So our coordinator, Domingo Figueroa, posts pretty much daily. He's usually our Instagram poster. Sometimes Greg will do it too, but so we post literally every day, all of our events on our story, whatever, just to engage students. So like I said, we have a huge following there. It's growing. And actually, I want to announce that we are actually going to be starting a Student Life podcast soon. So that will also be something to kind of look out for, because we'll be able to really talk about things more frequently than not if you can't make it to our office. So
nice. Well, if you need help with podcast stuff, let me know.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, it is that time of the show. We got to go. Jacob-Aidan Martinez, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Hotmaster, for having me.
And catch us here every Tuesday morning, 8:30 to 9, right here on the San Antonio College YouTube page. I'm Hot Mustard. We'll see you next week for another edition of Summer at SAC. It's a summer